Now, clean drinking water is something that we expect as part of our life. If I give you a choice between this bottle of clean water and this bottle of suspicious origins with some kind of muck inside, of course, it would not even be a real choice. You would choose the clean bottle of water. Every day, we drink about 5 to 6 such bottles of water, and we're careful about what is in that water. Every day you spend at your school, you breathe in about 6,000 such bottles of classroom air. Have you ever given a thought to what is in that large volume of air that you are breathing and how you could check out what's in there? What are the kind of things that affect the indoor air quality in classroom? I have a few examples here. The furniture in the classroom, the carpeting, upholstery, cleaning methods used, products used for cleaning, building materials, teaching tools like markers, outdoor environmental aspects like a heat wave or a forest fire. Even teachers and students themselves are sources of indoor air pollutants. Broadly speaking, we could put them under three headings. So there's the building, what it is made up of, how the space is designed, how it is maintained. The systems used for indoor conditioning, like you can have an air conditioner, or you can have some radiators heating, ventilation fans, uh, and even just like opening or closing the windows, if that's what is being used for natural ventilation, that also impacts the classroom air quality. And then the occupants themselves, that is, how many people are there, what kind of activity are they engaged in, how big is the classroom in relation to the number of people. The classroom indoor environments affects not only your comfort, it also goes on to affect health and the process of teaching and learning. Something like dampness and mold that increases the risk of asthma and similar respiratory health effects uh, by about 30 to 50%. Small changes in temperature, I mean, even if they do not appear to be very big, they can impact task performance and concentration, thus affecting your ability to learn. Schools that have major maintenance backlog, they have been observed to have more issues with students missing classes, annual dropouts, and children's in classrooms with high outdoor air ventilation rates have been seen to have better scores at standardized tests. Now, while outdoor air pollution can be easier to see, it's difficult to check indoor air quality. Uh, While we're pretty good at feeling the thermal conditions of a space, like if it is cool or warm or too warm for walking, our noses are not that good at spotting what is in the air before it gets risky for health. For indoors, we need to rely on air quality monitors to figure out what's in the air and if it is at a level which could impact health and safety. Air quality monitors could serve a few different purposes. They could be used for additional monitoring in a space to add to the information available from existing monitors that are part of maybe a building management system. They can be helpful in educating occupants about the importance of air quality and training people about how to use air quality monitoring and where to use it. It could also be quite vital in certain emergencies like a forest fire to check on exposure of people around that area and accordingly apply certain protective measures like use of air filtration. And in locations where there are no existing monitoring systems, so for those buildings, air quality monitors can be used to spot if there are any issues with air quality and hence if any corrective measures are needed. Typically, inside an air quality monitor, you could have this kind of arrangement. So you could have a display, then you have a chip that kind of controls everything. You have a power, like it could be battery or it could be externally powered. There could be a system for kind of communication with the cloud. Uh, so, or it could be that the data is logged on board the monitor. And then you have the sensors which take the air in, expose the sensor to the air that has been drawn from the room, and then that helps to detect what's in the air. Sensors to monitors. So, like, so this is an example of some of the sensors that are inside monitors for measuring different parameters. So the monitors could look something nice and fancy, like say a small cell phone, whereas the sensors themselves, which are built inside, so these are hardly the size of a small dice or a 1 cent coin. When you deploy your monitor, there are a few things that you need to be careful about. Location of the monitor, as in which building, which floor do you want to place it. Placement of the monitor, as in at what height or how far from windows, etc. Generally, you want the sensor to be around breathing height of people, far from windows, doors, ventilation outlets, not too close to people so that they don't directly breathe upon it, so that would affect the temperature and CO2 readings. Security, as in could people or pets get to it or disturb the measurements. Make sure that you can access the place, that is uh, that where you are going to deploy the monitor. Connectivity, as in like if your monitor does not have onboard data logging, then it should like wherever it's located, it should have connectivity, whether by Wi-Fi or by cell phone networks, to be able to send the data to cloud. Depending on if the monitor has a battery or not, you may need to locate it close enough to a power source. And finally, whenever you're deploying some monitor, document this deployment process. Like take pictures if needed, keep the information as to when did you put it in, what time, date, how long are you going to put it in that place, location, and uh, then again when you remove it, at what time and date, because that helps you analyze the data that you would have collected. Maintain a distance from pollution sources within a room. Like make sure you have the sensor location where there is good connectivity. I mean, do not put it inside a box or near a microwave, which can disrupt the signals. Uh, Put it in occupied spaces with free airflow and at about breathing height. Like don't place it where people are not likely to be there. Like don't put it in some corner where no one is ever going to be there. Do not block the air inlets of the monitor. So typically this would be at the sides or at the bottom or the top, so make sure that those are free for the air to pass through, and make notes of when you are going when you're putting it there, when the measurements are being made. And if possible, you can also make notes of what kind of activity is going on during your monitoring period, like how many people are there, what kind of like whether they are just sitting in the classroom and engaged in studying, or if there is some other activity, something more vigorous activity, or maybe they are having food as well, like food breaks are also within the classroom. So this will help you interpret the values that you have uh, logged as part of the monitoring data. So that was just a little bit of explanation of how indoor air quality is can be monitored using air quality monitors, where to put them in, how to deploy them, and certain basic uh, characteristics of monitors and the benefits of having this kind of air quality monitors. Thank you.